Okay, good morning, everyone. I'd like to call to order our Mayor's Council meeting. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that this meeting is taking place on the unceded and traditional territories of the Halkalilam, Semiahmoo, and Squamish-speaking people. These refer to the language groups of the Indigenous people and nations who used and continue to use the land in which TransLink operates. I know all of my colleagues around the table have been spending some time reflecting after the news of the graves found at the residential school in Kamloops over the past weeks, and the role and work we need to do towards reconciliation. I know this dark chapter in our country's history is difficult and one that we need to spend our time to work through. And I know more news is coming out from Saskatchewan related to this as well too. So I do want to say a note to say that we as the Mayor's Council are grieving and working with our Indigenous partners during this difficult time, as it is really obviously tragic to come to grips with this part of our history. So with that, I do want to look just confirm with Carol and Mike that we have recorded attendance for this morning's meeting.
Yes, we do.
If I can get a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, and if we can move to 1.2, the approval of the minutes of our May 27th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, moving on to public delegations. I believe we have one public delegate. Okay. We can move to 1.2.
Hello?
The minutes of our May 27th.
Yes, Chair Cote, we've got Nathan Davidovich. Nathan, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to public delegations. I believe we have one public delegate.
So someone's got the YouTube live stream playing. They could just mute that. It might be Nathan. And now we can. Mayor Cote, back to you.
You can hear me now or no?
We can. Welcome, Nathan. So you're on.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Cote and other members. I was supposed to speak at the last month meeting, but I presume because of the computer problems at TransLink, my thing was not processed on time. I've been here for 50 years, and private transit versus public transit was the issue. Until 1970, transit was treated as private, basically as a utility, and everything, all costs were supposed to be covered. The big change came with the election of the Dave Barrett government. Within 3 years, the bus fleet was doubled, plus, of course, 2 C buses. We need such a big change now, as we suggested, buying an extra 600 new electric buses for BC to expand public transit all over. The current projections are that Metro Vancouver, who is now number 4 per capita in Canada, will fall to number 5 or number 6 by the end of 2022. We need help. The headlines in today's newspapers, the province BC hire international expert to apply new innovative thinking to long-term economic plan. And in the Vancouver Sun, similarly, province higher economic strategies renewed scholar will help steer BC in post-pandemic era. So we have at least 4 international experts who lived in BC, Metro Vancouver, that could help Alan Levy, Joe Salmona, Todd Littman, and Jarrett Walker. They all are well-known international experts. Now, in order to get one of them, TransLink governance has to be changed. TransLink has to be changed to a municipality. This will help. This is one of the main reasons that we are demonstrating outside Minister Heyman office since June the 1st until June the 30th. We are there every weekday. And we are calling on other MLAs to help because the provincial government has to change their thinking about transit and has to help Metro Vancouver and other areas to get moving on transit. Otherwise, we'll just keep falling behind. And that's what happened in the last 25 years. We are just behind and behind and behind. Thank you very much for your assistance and help.
Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us this morning, Nathan. And I think we all recognize before COVID, we're actually experiencing some really good expansion in our transit system in the Metro Vancouver region. No doubt, COVID has had a huge impact on our system, like it has with the transit systems around the world. But I know the Mayor's Council are very eager through our next investment plan, a refresh of the Mayor's tenure plan, and the development of Transport 2050 to evolve but get back on track with Metro Vancouver being a transit city. So appreciate you taking some time with us today and your advocacy for improved and expanded transit in the region. Okay, we're now going to move on to item 3.1 in the agenda, our CEO report, and I will pass it off to Gigi.
Thank you, Mayor Cote. Good morning, members of the Mayor's Council. Before I begin today, I just wanted to build on Mayor Cote's remarks about the tragic news of the discovery of more Indigenous children, more than 600, whose unmarked graves were discovered in Saskatchewan on the grounds of a former residential school. And this news comes on the heels of the discovery of 215 Indigenous children in unmarked graves in Kamloops on the ground of a former residential school there. And on behalf of the entire TransLink enterprise, I wish to express my deepest condolences to the First Nations and the families of the children whose graves have been discovered. It's just another reminder of all the work that we need to do in order to learn the history of residential schools, their impact on First Nations and Indigenous peoples, and how we need to pursue reconciliation. Now today, I would like to provide you with an update on our municipal funding program and some reflections on my tenure as interim CEO, since this will be the last time I will be addressing the Mayor's Council in this capacity. But first, I want to start by telling you about a new initiative and partnership that we've recently embarked upon to help protect and support vulnerable members of our community. So earlier this month, we began a partnership with Operation Lifesaver Canada, which is a not-for-profit that's dedicated to preventing fatalities, including suicide, around railway properties. This is an issue that's important to many of our employees at the TransLink enterprise, including myself. Personally, I'm devastated every time I hear news that someone has taken their life on our system. Historically, this is something we don't talk about publicly. It's something that our affected employees try to cope with in private and hope that it doesn't ever happen again. But now our enterprise is choosing to partner with Operation Lifesaver to support their new suicide prevention public awareness campaign. And our goal is to remind those who may be struggling with mental health that help is available. I was out and about on the system last Saturday, and I noticed one of these posters at the Surrey Central SkyTrain station. So I know that they are out. There's 37 platform posters in total out on the system at SkyTrain, Canada Line, as well as West Coast Express platforms. So we're proud to do our part to help support public awareness around this important topic and to protect the communities that we serve. Next slide, please. Next, I'd like to talk about an exciting announcement and investment update regarding TransLink's municipal funding program. As you know, the 10-year investment plan that was approved by the Mayor's Council did include funding for TransLink to partner with municipalities and local governments to improve in projects that will improve roads, cycling, and pedestrian infrastructure across our region. And through these collaborative partnerships, TransLink contributes up to 75% of eligible costs for projects in your communities, which benefit drivers, cyclists, pedestrians, and transit users. And so today I'm pleased to announce that in 2021, TransLink will be investing a record-setting $125 million through this particular municipal funding program. And in addition, this year is the first time that the program funding is being provided to every single municipality and local government throughout Metro Vancouver. This year's initiatives include 14 road projects, 20 cycling projects, 17 walking projects, 34 multi-use pathways, 18 major road network structures, and 28 bus speed and reliability projects. And in all, we're implementing a record number, 131 projects spanning across the region this year. So these projects are a great reminder of how our regional transportation system goes beyond public transit to improve transportation options for all people in all corners of Metro Vancouver. And it's one of the things that makes TransLink unique compared to other transit systems in North America. Our mandate is to think holistically about transportation network and ensure that people in Metro Vancouver have a constellation of mobility options to choose from. This includes delivering not only world-class transit services, but also infrastructure that promotes active forms of transportation, such as cycling and walking, as well as maintaining bridges and roadways in a state of good repair, which will all enable the efficient movement of people and goods. And these projects will help us move forward on the Mayor's 10-year vision, improving transportation options for all residents in all communities, and help us meet our goals for our economy, environment, and our quality of life. Now, since 2017, our municipal funding program has invested significantly in new or upgraded public paths and infrastructure, namely 32 kilometers of walking paths, 110 kilometers of cycling paths, 69 kilometers of multi-use paths, 31 kilometers of bus lanes, and 31 kilometers of road infrastructure. By working together with staff from each of your municipalities, we can help make our region more livable, which benefits us all. And as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, we know that active transportation has really increased in usage and profile, and there's an unprecedented demand for outdoor spaces. And research in 2020 shows that Metro Vancouver residents were walking 66% more and cycling 24% more in response to the pandemic. And to help support this shift, in 2021, TransLink will provide $3.5 million in walking paths, $11.4 million for cycling paths, and $21.1 million for multi-use paths. And over the summer, we're planning to profile some of the key projects completed through this program to help increase public awareness and showcase these improvements that TransLink and municipalities are making together in our streets, sidewalks, bike paths, and beyond. So please stay tuned for more info and stories on our Buzzer blog and social media channels in the weeks and months ahead. So as I mentioned earlier, this meeting marks the last time I'll be addressing you as TransLink's interim CEO. And following a competitive international search, Kevin Quinn will be joining this organization on July 19th. And I'm looking forward to introducing him to our organization and to all the dedicated employees who work here. And I guess I'll essentially be the interlude between two Kevin choruses. So it's really been an honor for me to have been able to serve in this role between February and July. It's really been a highlight of my career. And I've been pleased to have played a role in helping to steward the organization through a period of uncertainty and transition. As you know, I've been here since its inception in 1999 at TransLink and also with BC Transit beyond that. And so my history here goes deep with the organization. I do care very much about the enterprise and its mission and its continued success. And so when I first began this role, I noted that my goal was to bring stability to the organization. As interim CEO, I wanted to support the employees through a period of transition so we can keep our enterprise on course with the corporate initiatives that we had set out to accomplish, the major projects, and our commitment to delivering exceptional customer service each and every day. And these past 3 months, I've enjoyed working alongside all of you at the Mayor's Council to serve in the public's best interests. I also want to take this opportunity to thank Jeff Cross, Chris Dacre, Steve Vanagas, and all the members of their teams for all their excellent work they've done to support the Mayor's Council through this period of transition. And I also want to name Sarah Ross, who many of you hold in high regard, and made a point to bring this to my attention when I met with you one-on-one. They're all truly committed to serving the public through their work with TransLink. Thank you for your time today.
Okay, well, before I open it up to my colleagues, I want to take an opportunity to really thank you, Gigi, for the excellent work you've done as interim CEO for TransLink. I think the role of interim CEO is a challenging role enough, but given the particular times that we're in with all of the major issues and the effects impacting public transit and all the challenges facing, I do want to commend you on the incredible work that you've done. Not only have we been able to kind of keep going, but I believe we've actually been able to advance and move our work and agendas forward during your time as interim CEO. I know, as you mentioned, you're a longtime member of the TransLink family, and I think most of us have had opportunities to work with you over the years. But it's been a pleasure for myself to work with you even more closely in your role as interim CEO. And I want to thank you on behalf of the Mayor's Council for your tremendous leadership during this period. And I think you've really well positioned TransLink to be in a really good position to kind of advance the work we all know we need to engage in the coming months and years. So thank you, Gigi, for all of your efforts and time. Okay, I'd now like to open it up to the Mayor's Council. If there's any comments or questions related to the CEO report. I'm not seeing any hands up, but maybe I'll just make a quick comment related to the TransLink Partnership Program. Obviously, really appreciate getting the update, and I think from the municipal perspective, these partnership programs are incredibly important to help cities be able to do the work that we've done. I think we've always recognized that transportation can't be looked at in silos in terms of modes. It's how do all the different modes of transportation work together effectively. So whether it's the work TransLink does with the major road network or with our walking and cycling program, I think it's critically important. And I know this is a program that has touched all municipalities in Metro Vancouver, but I can speak from my experience in New Westminster. TransLink's support for projects and programs has meant our city's been able to do projects we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. And I think particularly if we are trying to achieve our more holistic transportation goals and be able to respond to new trends regarding positive trends regarding increased interest in walking and cycling, I think TransLink has an important role to play, and really appreciate the update. So with that, I will look for a motion to receive both 3.1 and 3.2 on the agenda.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, moving on to item 4.1, the fall 2021 meeting policy. Maybe I'll first pass it off to Mike Buda to make a few remarks, and then I might pass it off to Mayor Brody, because I know the Finance and Governance Committee had a good discussion about this report as well. So, Mike.
Thank you, Chair. There's a report in your agenda package. It's just 3 or 4 pages, so I won't present it in detail. The report provides some analysis on some of the challenges for bringing this group back to in-person meetings immediately following BC's restart plan reaching step 4, which is currently projected to be no earlier than September 7th. In particular, even immediately after BC restart plan reaches step 4, it's going to take a little bit of time for TransLink's corporate offices to transition staff back into the workplace at full capacity. And until staff are back at close to full capacity, as you know from your own municipal city hall or municipal halls, we need a variety of staff to support Mayor's Council meetings. in person. In addition, there is a challenge to hosting, as you know, Mayor's Council meetings at TransLink's corporate offices. They're not really purpose designed for public meetings, which may make it difficult to adhere to whatever distancing or other guidelines might be in effect after BC Restart reaches step 4. So all that to say that you'll see in the report that that staff are not recommending an immediate return to in-person meetings, even after BC Restart plans reaches step 4. That there will need to be some transition, both to allow TransLink staff to transition back whenever that ends up happening. Also, because there is some uncertainty as to when step 4 will be reached. And of course, you all have busy schedules. Your schedules are going to have to be rejigged once in-person meetings begin. So you'll see that there's essentially a recommendation that we move to a hybrid approach where some meetings are in person, some meetings continue to be via this Zoom platform, and then we revisit the situation at the end of the year. Once BC Restart Step 4 has been in place for several months, the way that the new world of ours has kind of had a few months to settle, and then looking ahead to 2022, this group will bring back another report with some analysis and some options on how to move ahead. So all to say is the recommendation went to the Finance and Governance Committee was for a hybrid approach. The committee had a substantive conversation and agreed. You'll see that there's some adjustments to what staff recommended, but the philosophy is the same, a hybrid approach where in-person meetings should be able to begin as early as towards the end of October, and then at the end of the year we can revisit it. I'll perhaps, Mayor Cote, pass it over to you to pass to the committee chair to make comments on the committee's conversation.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Brody?
Thanks, Chair. I think that pretty much covers it. It was, everybody I think is kind of anxious to get back to what we think of as normal, but we couldn't go too quickly. So a hybrid approach, video conference to the end of the year, but there will be a couple workshops and probably have those at the Anvil Center or some bigger facility that can safely distance us and whatever. So that's what led to it. It was a good discussion, and I certainly support the recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, no, I think it was a good discussion, and I think we'll have an opportunity in the fall to engage a little bit more about what the new normal looks like for these meetings. I think we all recognize there's things that have been lost in the meeting formats that we've done, but I think there's also been some opportunities there, and I think we should be able to have a good discussion about how do we meet our different types of meetings moving forward, and that'll be a conversation that we can have during the fall period when we have a little bit more clarity. So with that, there is a recommendation in the report from the Finance and Governance Committee.
Moved.
It's been moved and seconded. I'm not seeing any further hands, so I will call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And it's carried. Okay, our next meeting is on July 29th, so that we've reached the end of our meeting today for our open meeting. So if I can get a motion to adjourn our open Mayor's Council meeting.
Move.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And why don't we take a short 5-minute break and return at 9:30 for our in-camera meeting.